jìyà ọmọ tí kò bá ẹ̀kọ́ ó dáni lójú pé yóò jìyà iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n tún fọ́lé ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa iṣẹ́ burúkú ni wọ́n ń ṣe tí wọ́n bá jalè wọ́n tún fọ́lé ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
The task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. With this quote from C.S. Lewis, I welcome you to another edition of this wonderful program on radio, Education Today. Education Today is a program that aims to call attention of the public to education matters as they affect the effective running of the educational system and the achievement of educational goals. This comes on air every Saturday from 3 o'clock to 4 p.m. West African time on this station, Lights Radio. I am OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. Our goal with this program is to educate, inform, orientate, and entertain the society on educational matters, address issues affecting the educational system, influence public opinion, and drive effective policy directions to guide the formulators and implementers. For your comments, questions, and contributions, you can reach us on Facebook via www.facebook.com/lightsradio. Our Twitter handle is @TheLightsRadio, Instagram Lights_radio, and YouTube Lightspace_radio. You can also call or send a message to us via SMS or WhatsApp on 0809-738-4000, 0809-738-4000. Go on a quick break and return. The program continues. Please stay with us. If you just joined in, you are listening to Education Today on Lights Radio. We kick off with the news segment, and here we have Nima Ibrahim. Hello, Nima.
Hello, good afternoon.
Please, let's have the news.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the news on Education Today, reaching you live from Light Radio. I am Nima Ibrahim. First, the headlines. 195 FUTA graduates back first class. Plateau University ASU declares indefinite strike. Ondo NYSC boss charges core members to eschew sharp practices. Unizik suspends officer over alleged forgery. And on the foreign scene, teachers kick off strike in Portland, Oregon over class sizes, pay, and resources. Now the details. No fewer than 195 students of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State, have emerged as first-class graduates among the 3,491 students set to graduate the institution. Among them, 2,295 are male, while 1,196 are female. The Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Adenike Oladiji, made this known while speaking on Friday about the forthcoming 33rd convocation ceremony of the institution. Given the breakdown of the class of the graduating students, the Dawn disclosed that out of the total number, 195 students have first class, 1,510 have second class honors upper division, 1,515 students finish with second class honors lower division, 254 have third class, and 2 students finished with pass. According to the VC, the university would also confer postgraduate diploma, master's, and doctoral degrees on 1,806 postgraduate students. In a bid to have a direct impact on society, Oladiji stated that the university would introduce new academic programs upon the approval of the National University Commission, emphasizing that the gown had now been taken to society to impact viable knowledge on the citizenry for a better society. Similarly, the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, is set to award first-class honors degree to 136 graduating students today, Saturday, November 11, 2023. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nyaudo Ndayo, while addressing journalists to highlight activities lined up for the convocation on Monday, said the combined convocation has a total of 14,866 graduates, with a total of 2,672 students with postgraduate degrees, 11,795 with first degrees, 380 with diplomas, and 81 with certificates. Academic activities have been paralyzed at the Plateau State University Bokos Plasu following comprehensive and indefinite strike action embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, of the university. In a statement signed by the university chapter of ASU, signed by its chairperson Dr. Hassan Monde Zita and Secretary Comrade Demes Samson Bitrus, it stated that the strike was a sequel to the report of the National Executive Council Visitation Team, where it was established that the state government has failed to implement the second agreement signed in 2022 with the union. It stated that the ASU national president has granted the branch a request to resume its suspended strike, adding that the approval granted was followed by a congress where a total strike was declared. According to the statement, the issues in contention are inadequate capital projects by the state government, the provision of additional hostel, the tarring and completion of the road network on campus, and the provision of staff quarters, among other demands. NYSC Ondo State Coordinator Mrs. Victoria Nina Ani has charged outgoing members of the service corps to shun all forms of sharp practices, saying the scheme would continue to honor them as patriotic Nigerians. The state coordinator made the charge in a farewell message to the 2022 Batch C Stream 2 corps members at the Akoko North East Local Government Secretariat, Ikari Akoko. Mrs. Annie, who is confident about the abilities of the outgoing corps members, said that the skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development program they have been exposed to during the orientation course as well as post-camp training will no doubt make them potential fledgling industrialists. In conclusion, she admonished them to strive hard and imitate the eagle as it spread its wings beyond the reach of other birds under the same classification, saying that an eagle is focused and patient, thus encouraging the members of the Surface Corps to imbibe such attributes. The management of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, has suspended a member of staff of the institution, Nwafor Ogbonnaya Nwesuzo, for alleged certificate forgery. Reports have it that Nwafor allegedly forged his degree and the National Youth Service Corps Exemption Certificate to secure employment in the university. However, the bubble allegedly burst when Nwafor wrote to the university requesting to change his degree results. The special advisor to the Vice Chancellor on Public Relations and Special Duties, Dr. Emmanuel Ojukwu, disclosed this in a statement made available to reporters in Awka. Ojukwu said Nwafor had thus been suspended from the service of the university for 6 months while his case will undergo other processes before final decision. And now the foreign news. Teachers in Portland, Oregon walked off the job on Wednesday for the first day of a strike that shuttered schools for some 45,000 students in Oregon's largest city. Concerns over large class sizes, salaries that haven't kept up with inflation, and a lack of resources prompted the strike, one of the latest signs of a growing organized labor movement in the U.S. that since thousands of workers in various sectors take to the picket lines this year. Our kids deserve more than teachers that are absolutely exhausted and at the end of their rope, said Sarah Trapido, a special education teacher at Kellogg Middle School, who was picketing Wednesday morning. And according to the Portland Association of Teachers, which represents more than 4,000 educators, it was the first ever teacher strike in the school district. The union has been bargaining with the district for months for a new contract after its previous one expired in June. And that's the news. But before we go, a quick recap of the major stories. 195 FUTA graduates back first class. Plateau University ASU declares indefinite strike. Ondo NYSC boss charges core members to eschew sharp practices. And on the foreign scene, teachers kick off strike in Portland, Oregon over class sizes, pay, and resources. Don't forget, for the coverage of your educational program, seminars, fairs, among others, you can send us a mail via educationmediaservices@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.
That's all we can take on the news for today. Right now, we'll take the country in focus. You're welcome to the Country in Focus segment, where we consider a particular country of the world, its basic features, and most importantly, its educational system for the benefit of our listeners. I am OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. Today, the country in focus is United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is a federation of 7 emirates located on the southeastern corner of the Arabian Peninsula. Established on December 2, 1971, the UAE, as it's popularly called, has rapidly transformed from a collection of desert settlements to a global hub of commerce, innovation, and luxury. Home to iconic cities such as Dubai and Abu Dhabi, the country is renowned for its skyscrapers, modern infrastructure, and a blend of traditional and futuristic architecture. Educationally, the UAE places a high value on education, recognizing it as a key driver for the nation's progress and sustainability. The educational system is structured to provide a comprehensive and globally competitive learning experience. In terms of educational levels, the UAE has early childhood and primary education, secondary education, and higher education, as well as technical and vocational education. For its early childhood and primary education, the journey begins with early childhood education, nurturing young minds through a range of preschool programs. Primary education, which is compulsory, builds a strong foundation in subjects such as Arabic, English, mathematics, and science. The curriculum is designed to instill cultural values alongside critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Secondary education in the United Arab Emirates further refines students' academic pursuits. Emphasis is placed on core subjects, and students are introduced to specialized areas based on their interests and aptitudes. The UAE's Ministry of Education ensures a standardized curriculum across the Emirates, fostering educational consistency. In terms of higher education, the UAE has invested significantly in higher education to become a regional education hub. It boasts world-class universities and institutions, attracting students from around the globe. Subjects span a diverse range from engineering and business to arts and sciences. Prestigious institutions like the United Arab Emirates University and Khalifa University are at the forefront of academic excellence. Recognizing the importance of practical skills, the UAE has developed robust technical and vocational education programs. These offerings provide students with hands-on experience and specialized training in areas crucial for the country's economic development, such as technology, hospitality, and aviation. With a population comprising various nationalities, the educational system reflects the cultural diversity of the United Arab Emirates. International schools offer curricula from different countries, fostering a global perspective and preparing students for a world that values cross-cultural understanding. The educational system in the United Arab Emirates is a testament to the nation's commitment to innovation, knowledge, and the holistic development of its citizens. As the UAE continues to evolve, education remains a cornerstone, shaping a future where its people contribute meaningfully to the global landscape. That's the country in focus. Education Today continues in a moment. Please stay with us. That was the country in focus. Right now, we'll take the profession of the week. Good day and welcome again to the segment for the profession of the week. I am OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. Here we x-ray a particular professional field of human endeavor within the education sector, and I will be telling you what it is about, the knowledge and educational qualifications required for admission into tertiary institutions, years of training required, and schools that have the accreditation to offer these courses. On today's segment, we have a special field of study to consider. Please come along with us. Today we are looking at pharmacy. Pharmacy is a field of health sciences dedicated to the safe and effective use of medications. It encompasses the art and science of preparing, dispensing, and providing expertise on medications to ensure optimal patient outcomes. Pharmacists, as key healthcare professionals, play a vital role in collaborating with physicians, offering medication counseling, and contributing to public health initiatives. The discipline combines biological, chemical, and medical knowledge to impact patients' well-being profoundly. Careers in pharmacy. A pharmacist's role extends far beyond the pharmacy counter. Pharmacists can work in diverse settings, including community pharmacies, hospitals, research institutions, and pharmaceutical companies. Clinical pharmacists collaborate with healthcare teams to optimize drug therapy for patients, while retail pharmacists provide essential medication advice. Pharmaceutical scientists engage in drug development and research, ensuring the safety and efficacy of new medications. Pharmacy administration and management roles involve overseeing the operations of pharmacies and healthcare institutions. On the basis of economic rewards and salaries, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, pharmacists in the United States earn a median annual wage of around $128,710 in May of 2020. The economic rewards are influenced by factors such as experience, specialization, and geographical location. Pharmacists enjoy competitive salaries, reflecting the critical role they play in the healthcare. Related careers such as pharmaceutical research scientists and pharmacy managers also offer attractive compensation packages. For the study of pharmacy in Nigeria, admission into pharmacy programs typically requires meeting specific academic criteria. Prospective students must have a strong background in science with a focus on subjects such as biology, chemistry, and physics. The West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASC or its equivalent like the NECO SSC and APTEP, along with a good score in the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME, is usually a prerequisite. Some universities may require additional entrance examinations or interviews. As far as universities offering pharmacy in Nigeria, we have several universities offering it as a course of study. Some notable institutions include University of Lagos, Ahmadu Bello University, University of Nigeria, Nsukka Bafemalo University, and the University of Benin. These universities provide comprehensive pharmacy programs combining theoretical knowledge with practical experiences to prepare students for diverse roles in the field. Pharmacy as a profession remains a cornerstone of healthcare, bridging the gap between medical science and patient care. Aspiring pharmacists embark on a journey that not only promises economic rewards, but also offers the gratification of contributing to the health and well-being of communities. That's all on the profession of the week for today. I am OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. Stay informed and enlightened as Education Today continues. Please stay with us. You're still on to Education Today on Light Radio, and we are moving into the discuss segment, and our guest is here with us. We're looking at the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. The question is, has it lost its relevance? Has the NYSC lost its relevance? as a kind of background, the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) was established in 1973, 22nd May to be precise, by the military government of General Yakubu Gowon after the Civil War as an avenue for the reconciliation, reconstruction, and rebuilding of the nation, and to involve Nigerian graduates in nation building and the development of the country. It is a compulsory one-year program for all graduates of universities and polytechnics under the age of 30. However, over the years, the scheme has faced many challenges and criticisms, with many calling for its scrapping. Now, the question we should ask ourselves, what have we benefited from the scheme so far as a nation? What are the challenges facing the scheme? Has the program lost its relevance? Should it be scrapped? If it should be retained, what amendments can be made to improve its relevance and efficiency? These are some of the poses that we seek answers to on the program today. Now, joining us on the program as our guest discussant is a 7 Corps member currently deployed to Delta State, Mr. Habib Akorede. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to Education Today.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Couple we.
Wow.
We.
Wow.
I remember those years. It's fun when you talk about the NYSC. All right, to our listeners, you can be part of this discourse by sending your comments and questions to 0809 738 4000, 0809 738 4000, or you can drop your comments via the live video feeds on Facebook and YouTube. Well, before moving into the discuss proper, we have our short quiz segment. So the question is our short quiz for this week: what year was NYSC established and how old is it now? It's actually a very, very simple question. So what year was the NYSC established and how old is it now? Send your answer to the WhatsApp number 0809734000 or our Facebook or YouTube page. The first correct answer wins the prize. The idea is at least we want to appreciate you for joining us live on the show. So the first correct answer wins the prize. All right. So moving to the discuss proper. So Mr. Korede, let's start this way. So what exactly is the NYSC and why was the scheme established?
Okay, the NYSC, as we might have all known, simply means the National Youth Service Corps.
No, sorry, before you go, not everybody knows probably what the NYSC is.
Okay.
So let's not assume that everyone knows, because see, there are youngsters, there are adults, there are, many people from different categories or different class of the society listen to this program. So I just want to, so let's assume that probably some people don't even know.
Yeah.
While some know, some don't know. So let us not commit the danger of assumption.
That's actually very correct. So NYSC stands for National Youth Service Corps.
Okay.
And it's a scheme that was established by the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria after the Civil War, which was around 1973. So the Civil War ended and created a lot of loopholes in the way we see ourselves as Nigerians. So people from the west, from the east, from the south, from the north, we got to a point where people start seeing themselves as different, not as that one Nigeria that we seek to be. So to make that, to bring about the unity and the spirit of oneness among all Nigerians, so the government came up with the scheme, the idea of, okay, let's have a scheme that brings all youth who are all graduates, who are graduates basically, so together across all the nation, let's bring them to together so that they have a time where they actually learn some things about the nation and serve the nation for a period of 1 year. And that was how why NYSC was established.
Okay, so good. So basically bring Nigerians together for them to interact with themselves, probably people from different cultures, people from different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So instead of probably just seeing probably myself as a Yoruba man, so I should see myself more as a Nigerian. And probably by the time I interact with other people, say, wow, so there are also some other Nigerians probably beyond my own enclave here, probably in the southwestern part of the country. All right, good. So what are the activities that the core members are expected to engage in, or some of those experiences that are expected to be exposed to within this 1 year service period?
So NYSC being a scheme was established, and it has some activities that have been listed as part of the activities of NYSC. I think that is listed with the NYSC Act. It's a particular act that established NYSC. And so NYSC has these 4 cardinal programs. So there are like 4 important programs that every core member must pass through. I mean, you participate in those programs and in those activities. The first one is what we call the orientation camp, or the orientation course, basically. So it's a period where all core members are expected to camp at a particular place for a period of 21 days, basically. 3 weeks.
Orientation.
Yes, it's an orientation course. So and it's a period where you get to learn a lot. So the activities during the orientation course are quite enormous, and there are a lot of activities. So one of which includes the lectures. We have lectures where you are going to be taught about different things that has to do with Nigeria. Different agencies. There are some agencies that you might not have even heard of, and some you might have heard of, but you don't really know what they do, what they stand for. So you get to interact with those agencies in the camp. You get to be taught a lot of things while in the camp. So aside that, we have the military drill in the camp. So because NYSC is established to be a paramilitary, so as core members, we are more like paramilitary officers, basically. Okay. So there are drills we are engaging in camp. So, and also there are so many other activities. Okay. Some of it is also the recently introduced SAED. So that is a skill acquisition program for all core members. So it's actually a program that all core members are expected to participate in both during camp and outside camp. So during the period of the orientation course, you're expected to participate in an in-camp training of that side. So aside the orientation course, there's also what we call the PPA, the primary assignment. So whereby after the orientation course, all core members serving in a particular state will be distributed to places of primary assignment where they are expected to work with some employers or to be able to gain the work experience, basically. So, and then aside that, we also have what we call the CDS, the Community Development Service, and that is, to me, it's one of the most interesting part of the youth service, because that is where you get to give back to the community where you are serving. So there are 2 types of CDS that exist. We have the group CDS and then the personal CDS. So personal CDS is like you as a core member, you look at the community where you live in, where you are serving, basically, and you feel like, okay, there's something I can actually do to assist the people of this place. And you are not expected to use your money, basically, or whatever, but you can also actually seek funds from people while you are pioneering that particular project all by yourself. So that's a personal CDS. And we have the group CDS where core members are grouped together, and as a group we all think of, okay, what can we do for this community to develop the community better? So we came here and we've met something here, we've seen a problem that we can actually solve within the community. And then the last one is what we call the winding up and / POP, that's the personal parade. So that's the final part of the scheme.
So good. Now you talk about probably the regimented training that is supposed to probably that is probably undertaken by the military service, the drill people. Because I participated in it before, probably the march pass. Most of it is actually the march pass, and probably some of these other ones: jump, climb tree, climb rope, and things like that. Now, how effective has that been in preparing Nigerian youths, for that, paramilitary experience in the real sense of it? Because we know some other countries have, many, wonderful, paramilitary training like that, or compulsory military training like that, so how would you compare?
Okay, so one of those things you will be told in camp is that these trainings, the drills and all of that, is not because they want you to be able to pick up a gun and start fighting in the war or something. It's basically to prepare you physically, mentally, and emotionally included for some challenges you will be facing in the course of the program, not just the program, in life generally. So there are some of the activities, for example, the man of war drills where we climb the rope, climb all of those. So you're usually being told that all of those man of war apparatus are actually meant to teach you a particular lesson. So there are some that you will have to bring yourself down, completely down. The moment you you move up a little bit, then you are putting yourself into problem. So all of those are meant to prepare you physically, psychologically for some of them. And for the military drill too, one of those things I got to learn in the military drill is that these drills require your complete focus. Because if you are not focused, you'll be distracted and you won't get it right. So you learn how to be well focused, and you also learn teamwork. these drills, you realize when you watch some of these drills, every person on that file on that line will be doing the same thing synchronous at the same time. Yeah, so it's a way of you learning teamwork. You need to work with every member of your team. So the moment you are looking at someone, you are not paying attention to someone, and you're not going to get it right. So a lot of you need to work together. So you learn teamwork. There are a lot of other things you get to learn through the drills. So it's not just for you to be able to start. We are not taught how to shoot guns.
Okay. Because what I get to see a lot of times is that you only see these people. The next all these activities they do is just for the photo ops.
Yeah.
So I now get to ask myself, is it because of the photo ops, or because it is important that we participate in some of these drills?
So you see, there are some things that when it was started for a very good reason. But as time goes on, people have seen it as something, let's just do it and just get out. So most time you see people doing these drills, and some people don't even participate in the drills. They just go there, hold the ropes, or do the stuff, and just take pictures. But for you, if you actually participate in those activities, you actually get that there are a lot that you are going to get to learn from participating in those activities.
All right. Now, there is this issue of the age requirement, where if you graduate and you are under the age of 30, you probably participated, you did a full-time program, and you graduated under the age of 30, you should go for service. I want to ask, why is this age requirement important?
Okay, so NYC has this age requirement. If you graduated below the age of 30, or even if you had graduated earlier and your age currently is beyond 30 but you've not served, you still have to serve. So it's because, number one, as that age is seen as the age of youthfulness. So anything below 30. So once you are 30, you are now thinking of a lot of things, family, work, and all of those. So, and as a person, you need to focus on those things personally. That's one. So number two of those reasons I saw that the age requirement is very important is that someone who is 30 would have defined his orientation of how things are wherever he finds himself. So for you to have been in a place for 30 years of your life, you'll have seen that whatever you are doing at that time should be that's just so before you get to that age is the best time for you to be able to shape your orientation. So you'll be able to change your ideas. Okay, this is how things are, these are how things are not supposed to be. But by the time you are that 30 and you're that
is made up,
it's hard for you to change those things. So I think that's some of the reasons why that age is quite important.
Now because there is a two-leg approach to it now that I want to ask. You have the 30 years age requirement. Now, despite this, we still have adults that are above 30 coming to camp. And we also have a case where we have many people that are less than 30 years and they shun the NYSC program. So, from these two ends, why do we have that?
So, I think the first thing is we need to establish the fact that NYSC is a compulsory scheme for you as a Nigerian. So, if you are a Nigerian and you have graduated before the age of 30, even if you didn't serve
school in
Nigeria, if you didn't school in Nigeria, but you graduated before the age of 30, and you didn't serve before that age of 30. So that is why you realize that in some camps you find people above the age of 30 coming to camp. So some of them are people who have graduated before the age of 30. So probably for some reasons they could not serve during those period, and NYSC will not exempt you from service so far that you have graduated before 30.
Oh, is that why we see adults?
So that's why you see some people above the age of 30. So, and that's number one. So, and number two is that there are some people too. Physically, you know that these people are actually old, but with their document and their certificate and all of that, you see that they are very young. So you see someone, you look like this person should not be less than 40 years. Telling you I'm 28. So there's nothing that she can do in that situation. He has all the documents to prove that he is 28.
So you just have to allow him
to serve. So just have to allow you to serve. So I think that's some of the reasons you realize that people who are above that age will usually come to serve. And I interacted with someone who was actually above that age some time ago, and he was serving. I was like, why do you actually want to?
Probably because of the free food, or what?
So
What exactly?
the thing is, number one, there are people that even at that age, they still find it hard to get some things, some basic needs of life done. So they feel like maybe when I come to service, I will have that experience. I'll be attached to an organization. So and then after service,
Opportunity
maybe
for employment.
there'll be an opportunity for employment. So instead of just sitting back
at
and
home
just
doing nothing.
So and some of them are like, okay, even some of them have been doing very fine, but the fact that the scheme is important. If you want to get a government job, a government appointment, whatever, you need NYSC. So there is nothing they can do. They have to just come back to
But they could
participate in this way.
probably just get exemption certificate.
Exemptions are only given to people who graduate after the age of 30.
Oh, okay.
Or people who didn't do a full-time course in school.
Yes.
So probably you did a part-time course. So for part-time students, they are not allowed to serve. So if you actually did a full-time course in school, then you have to serve. So those are the people that get exemptions.
So you now have those who actually did full-time program, graduated less than 30, and still shunning the program.
So the fact that it's compulsory, there are still some level of will to you as a Nigerian. So some people can decide that I'm not going.
And I don't
need that's just it.
Just leave me alone.
So just leave me alone. So those kind of people at the end of the day, you find that they just maybe they have their money, they have everything, they just don't want to do it because of the stress. Some people still believe it's a waste of 1 year, and so I don't just want to waste that time and all of that. So that's why you see some people not participating in it at all.
Now, so with these years of existence of the scheme, what would you say are the benefits of the scheme to the youths in particular and to the nation as a whole? Because a lot of people feel like it's just opportunity for money, provide money for the boys. At least some people get contracts for the uniform, some get contracts for the cows at camp, for the food feeding, for the uniforms, for the boots. For some printing of call-up letters and things. So it's just money because of the economic reasons. So what exactly would you say are the benefits of the?
Definitely, the economic reasons are there, and people actually benefit from it. So, for example, if there is an orientation camp in a particular state, the host community is actually going to benefit from it a lot, because people living there would definitely come to camp to sell some things, and they're actually going to benefit from it. But aside that, there are a lot of other benefits to it. Let me start from we as youth who are participating in the NYSC scheme. Some of us have never left our home state since the time of birth. I know people that since the time of birth, they have never left Lagos. They have been in Lagos from day one, from the day zero, since they have been given birth to. So, and it gives an opportunity for them to be able to travel outside the state. Some people's idea of Nigeria is Lagos.
Yes.
So when they say Nigeria, they're actually talking about Lagos.
So and when they probably hear things about it, like, where is that?
And
is it true?
It is until they leave Lagos that they realize that, so there is
life
somewhere else outside this Lagos. And also the way we hear about some places in the news, you hear about the north, there's herdsmen, there's all of this. Until you go there, before you actually know that these things we are just hearing. Yes, it is there, but it is not as much as
the way it is.
The way we actually been hearing it. Okay. You hear people talk about the east. You hear people talk about the south and all of that.
They eat people. They eat human beings.
I have heard about that. Someone was told me that there's a place there they eat human beings. Don't go. But it is when you go to those places you realize that this place is actually very good. I didn't expect that I would see a place in Nigeria where they would have a very good road system and all of that until I have left Lagos. So if you do not leave your home state, you won't understand that there is life outside that place. That's one of it. Number two is that you get to interact with people from different parts of the country. I can say that personally, I have a database of people. If I need any service, anybody, anywhere from any state, I know people I can easily reach out to through NYSC. I know someone, if I need somewhere, something in Kaduna, from Zaria, from anywhere, from Maiduguri, South, anywhere, you can easily just reach out to some of my friends that we have met in camp during the scheme, and okay, it's easy for us to just communicate and can get things done easily. So these are some of the benefits you get, and the networking opportunity is there. And there is this employment opportunity too for that, though that is not actually common, the primary employees, because some people actually get employment immediately after service. Just they get retained in wherever they have been attached to. So, but the major thing is the fact that you get to relate with people from different part of the country, and you get to experience life outside where you've been. So, and you get to widen your scope.
All right, good. Now, let me ask this question before probably we go on a break. Now, there are many states in Nigeria today that probably cannot survive without the NYSC. Now, don't you think some of these states have actually turned this scheme into an opportunity to get cheap labor or free labor, thereby denying many youths in their states of employment opportunities?
You see, it's not just states. Some organizations too. Specifically, have made NYSC their major source of employment. So they won't employ, they can just employ maybe 1 or 2 permanent staff, and every year they get corpers, they got co-members to come and work for them. So it's actually not a good style, it's actually not a good thing to do, because the core members are meant to assist. They are meant to help and to just make things, because of their experience, their education,
they're also meant to learn.
They're also meant to learn from people who are experienced, who are working in those organizations. But if I revolve the whole thing around the core members, you realize at the end of the day, that organization would not grow as it's supposed to be. If you realize some of these states that have made core members their major source of employment, you will see the rate at which they go is not going to be. So when people who are,
because there's no continuity.
That is it. People who are indigenes of that state need this employment. And the fact that you employ them does not mean you can't still get core members. You definitely, core members are constant. You always get core members every year. But you still need to employ people who actually do the job. But core members will come and learn from them, work with them, and contribute to whatever they are doing. So that is how it's over. But making core members the primary source of employment is actually not a very good thing to do.
All right, so you're still listening to Education Today. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the program continues. Please stay with us.
Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá.
All right, you are still listening to Education Today on Lights Radio, and we are discussing, has the NYSC, National Youth Service Corps, lost its relevance? And we have a 7 corps member currently deployed to Delta State, a graduate of Lagos State University. And you know, when we said, some people probably might not have stepped out of their state. I wouldn't know if I thought he stepped out of Lagos before the opportunity of NYSC.
I actually did.
Okay, all right. So also we have Mr. Abiba Korede as our guest discussant. Don't forget you can be part of this discuss by sending your comments, questions, and contributions to us. You can reach us via Facebook, www.facebook.com/lightsradio. You can also reach us via Twitter. Twitter handle is @TheLightsRadio, Instagram Lights_radio, and YouTube Lightspace Radio. You can also call or send a message to us via SMS on WhatsApp on via SMS or WhatsApp on 0809 738 4000, 0809 738 4000. So as a reminder of our short quiz before we go back to the discuss, what year was the NYSC established and how old is it now? Send your answer to the WhatsApp number 0809 738 4000 or to our Facebook or YouTube page. The first correct answer, like I said earlier, wins the prize. Okay, so very quickly. Now, many people have been calling for the scrapping of the scheme. And I know probably this is probably because of 1 or 2 observed challenges or issues with the scheme. So let me ask you, so what do you think are the challenges facing the scheme that push people to call for its scrapping?
In reality, if you do a thorough audit of the scheme, you realize that there are a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, and a lot of corruptions within the scheme itself.
Corruption.
Yeah. So
I still remember former president corruption, and he said that if actually we don't kill corruption, corruption will actually kill us.
That is it. So it's something but that doesn't mean that the NYSC has lost its relevance. So we just need to look at these issues and see how can the government correct these errors, correct these issues.
So if you're already saying that we should not scrap it.
So it's not something that should be scrapped.
So what then are the challenges that make people to call for it?
Okay, so one of those challenges I realize is that people see it as a waste of 1 year because it does not guarantee employment. Ordinarily, NYSC wasn't supposed to guarantee employment.
Absolutely.
So I think people misunderstand
The
the objective. So it wasn't expected to guarantee your employment. So people feel like, how will I do 1 whole year and I still start looking for a job? Yeah, it's not meant to guarantee your employment. It's meant to give you a level of experience, a level of training. So and at the end of the day, you get to maybe get an employment. You know that you've been able to learn some things during your NYSC years. And also to solve that, the NYSC itself came up with what I mentioned earlier. That was SAID, the Skill Acquisition Program. So they feel like the way the country is going now, we realize that the level of unemployment is high, and you see that a lot of graduates who have even gone to the NYSC scheme are not employed. So how about you get a skill, acquire a skill, and you be able to establish yourself with that skill. And to make that even easier, they have made available a lot of funds for core members. So if you go through the trainings, you are certified with the training, you can actually get grants, access to grants and loans. So through the Bank of Industry, CBN, and even the NYSC Trust Fund. So there are all of these ways for which they have been trying to make the NYSC more beneficial to the youth, to Nigerian youth. So that is number one of it. Number two is that we realize that the level at which people see NYSC as a money-eating scheme is so high, and that is just the reality. Before you register, there are people, and some of this money are not money that are being collected by NYSC itself.
It's not official.
They are not official fees. They are more like fees that you pay to proxies. So in order to make life easy for you. So people who don't want to travel outside their state, they still want to serve, but they don't want to go outside their state. So you see people charging them 75,000, 80,000 naira so that you can to influence their posting. And this is something that is highly discouraged by NYSC itself. They always tell you, why should you influence your posting? The idea is so that you can leave your place of schooling, your state, and go out, get exposed to other things, other places. So people get to spend money, and that is why I said there are corruptions in the scheme itself. So because when you pay to people, they also have people.
Now, minus that, because when we talk about corruption, probably as one of the challenges, people tell you their experience, at the camp, living like refugees. That you'd hear that they said you are going to slaughter a cow, and you cannot find the meat on your food. Or they tell you they give you tea in the morning, and you look at, is this tea or just hot water, colored water?
Most time when I get the tea, I have to go and get milk and put milk myself because it's just
colored water.
That is it.
So you look at that, or the fact that you're given khaki, and you look at it, it's not fitting. Some of it probably the quality is very, very low, and you're like, who are those actually probably some of those guys? And some people have actually smiled to the banks for doing that. Probably so beyond just some of these programs are actually preying on unsuspecting core members who probably just to influence their post, or probably just for registration purposes and things like that. So I'm talking about some of those challenges really
within the system
itself that probably we need to look at. Because now, probably let me see how well has the NYSC been able to tackle the issue of insecurity of core members? Because I looked at it just this morning, NYSC just secured the release of some kidnapped core members. Some are even cases of prospective core members who are traveling to their states of deployment, where they have been posted, state of posting. And on the way going, some probably accidents, some the case of kidnapping, and so on like that. And some probably like election violence and things like that, because core members are actually deployed by the INEC. So a lot of people feel like, so you want to send my child to Boko Haram state, or you want to send my child to militant state where they're actually, where IPOB is operating, or where Niger Delta militants are operating, and they can throw them inside the river and things like that. So some would say, please don't go. If that is where they will post you to, don't go. Just stay back in my state. I'm okay with you staying with me than for me to send my child to, the apprehension of parents. I think that is or what do you have to say? Because you are currently serving, and probably I know some of your colleagues might have probably even run away from your state, and you feel like I'm not safe here. Or what do you think?
Yeah, I also need to correct a point there that I have passed out of service.
Oh, sorry.
So I am because ordinarily as a serving corps member, you're not allowed to grant interviews like this because
good.
so I have passed out of service.
Yep.
So one of those things is that the situation of the country as regards security is something very alarming.
And it's not restricted to corps members.
And it's not restricted to corps members.
So there might be
but
NYSC target because I feel like this one government.
That is it. I was going to come there. NYSC is always letting us understand something in camp that as a corps member, you are one of the targets of these insurgents because they realize that when they pick a corps member, they kidnap a corps member, they have actually held the government to ransom. So because it is now you are now a property of the government.
Yes.
So you now that is why most time you are always being encouraged not to travel at night. So if you are going anywhere, you want to probably going to camp or going out of camp. The moment it's 6 p.m., just stay back, don't go, because it's not safe for you. That is one. Number two is that you are not advised to travel with your uniform. So people do it a lot. You go to camp, after camp, you want people to see you that I am a copper, so you travel with your uniform. One day, 6 hours, 7 hours, 12 hours journey on uniform. So it's actually not correct. So
it exposes you to danger.
That is it. And NYSC would always tell you that before you travel out of your state, you have to seek permission.
So that people do it.
They go and yeah, just travel, just travel anywhere without permission. So you are supposed to seek permission, and it is only the state coordinator of your state that can permit you to travel outside your state. And if you are going to
the reason must be genuine.
Yes, and if you are going to travel outside the nation, outside Nigeria, it has to be the DG himself that will permit you to travel outside the country.
Wow.
So it's not something you are just because as a part of the NYSC scheme, you are expected to you are within a regimented scheme. So you are not just expected to just do things on your own at your own will. So that is one of those and
compliance.
Many people are exposed to these threats because of the way they just do things without without looking at what are the repercussions of it. So I had the time when some of my guys were traveling and the guy was putting on he was going to the guy, remove this thing, it's not safe for you. Even if the road is safe, but the fact that you are putting this on, somebody might just spoil, one copper did that. So, point and that is it. So point you out that you are now a serious target. That is some of these reasons that the insecurity and that doesn't mean that is the only reason. There are times that it's because of the situation of the country, many people actually get involved in this security issues. We just have to continue to pray that God continue to safeguard us. Yeah.
All right. So, while we close, what advice or what adjustment do you think can be made to this scheme to actually make it better, make it more acceptable, and make it more effective? What adjustment do you think? Now, you went through it for 1 year and probably just finished, some weeks ago. So, based on your own experience, what are the adjustments that you think we need to put into the NYSC scheme to make it better?
Okay, so I feel number one is that each level of the scheme need to be thoroughly audited, and there needs to be a lot of changes at each level, most especially at the grassroots level, from the local government to the state, because there are some states that would always get these allocations to organize camp, to do some things for the corps members, but don't do them as expected. So that's why I mentioned that they need to be a serious audit. That is when you know that there's someone
that will probably
checking going to check, so you are definitely going to do things the right way. Yeah. And so there's also a need for us to all change our ideas. Nigerians generally, people who are working in the NYSC scheme are also Nigerians. Yes. So one thing I've realized about a lot of Nigerians, almost all of us, is that we're actually looking for our own benefit. How would this thing benefit me? So everyone is actually looking for how to milk the system. Yeah. So that's just that whole idea needs to be changed. Okay. And that orientation has to be made to everyone. So you not just see it as a money making scheme. So when you are people put in charge of just uniform. Look for ways to
exploit the system. And probably give something that is of low quality, so that they can just
exactly. So all of these things need to just be changed in total.
All right. So The military drills, don't you think we need probably something more regimented, probably including security training, probably even how to use some of these weapons and things like that, so that we can have a number of reservists? Because the way we are talking about Boko Haram and some of these other security threats, don't you think we need Nigerians that can also be called upon in case of emergency? Just look at what is going on in Israel and Gaza, and you see people, reservists being called upon by Israel, coming back from all parts of the world because they have participated in some of this. It's the same in South Korea. But what we have is just 3 weeks of, manual training and things like that. Don't you think we need that?
Well, personally, I don't think Nigeria is ready for that.
Okay.
Because of the whole system entirely and the way things are with we Nigerians. So let's say, for example, for that to happen, the NYSC itself needs to be changed from just being a paramilitary. Paramilitaries are not expected to use guns and to use weapons. Okay. So
but then they are exposed some of this.
Yeah.
See, the customs is a paramilitary organization, and they're exposed to the use of some of these firearms and things like that. So, okay, well, probably beyond that, let me ask you this: all the while, the heads of NYSC have been military, men. Serving military officers, especially from Brigadier General upwards. Do you think NYS can actually get better and be more professional if non-military men are actually made to head? Because I still don't understand why it has to be a military that will head it. Meanwhile, that organization is like an agency in the Ministry of Youths.
So NYSC is actually a paramilitary, like I said. So, and it involves you working with military officers. So it's only, like, I would say that it's a military officer that can control military officers better.
Okay.
So other military officers actually work within the NYSC scheme, doing the deals and all of that. So I think it's best that the way it is that the militaries are the one controlling NYSC it is. But I don't know, it's something that needs to be tested and checked. But I feel it's still actually fine the way it is now. So.
All right. So, what advice do you have for for core members that are still serving, or those who are actually looking up to service as a way of probably as a kind of plan for them to project so that they can actually maximize the 1 year opportunity, and for all Nigerians too, beyond just those youths who probably be called up for service?
Okay. So number one is that I would advise that let me start from being prospective core members. For those who are willing to go into the scheme anytime soon, I would really advise that if there are no special reasons, there are no important reasons for you to redeploy outside the state where you have been posted to, it's very good that you stay in that state and do your 1 year service and get exposed to a lot of things. It's actually very good. It's very good. That's my number one. And number two is that don't pay to people who will exploit you in the name of direct posting or relocation. As a core member, you are allowed to relocate for genuine reasons while in camp without paying any dime. A lot of people don't know this. People believe that it's only when you pay 75,000, it's only when you pay so amount to people, that is when you can actually do relocations or redeployment. So you need to understand that when you go to camp, wherever you have been asked to go camp, if there are important reasons for you to relocate, then seek relocation while in camp. Okay. Even after camp, you can still relocate if there are important reasons. So it's not like NYSC is a charcoal where it's putting chains on you. So you are actually allowed to request for some things if there are needs for it. That is one. Number two is that as a core member too, you need to abide by the rules and regulations of the scheme. Very important. Like I said earlier, as a core member, you are not allowed to go at interviews like this. As a core member, you are not allowed to travel outside the state without permission. As a core member, so this I'm doing is because I am part of the scheme. So there are some things that you should
People
not
need to get acquainted with the rules
and regulations. While in camp, you will be given these bylaw, the NYSC bylaw and the NYSC Act. Read it, go through it so you can understand the rules. You actually be informed of those rules while in camp. But a lot of time people sleep. They sleep while these lectures are going on.
Some don't even come
they don't even. So people wonder and all of that. So because that is why people don't get to understand some of these. Some of these things. So you need to acquaint yourself with the rules and regulation of the scheme and how you can benefit from the scheme. And that 1 year is not a waste. Don't let your 1 year don't be a triangular core member from your PPA to your to your lodge and to your local government. So like a triangle. So no, that shouldn't be. You should engage yourself in other things
that can add value to you.
They can add value to you. Like I said, the Said is there. Learn skills. Even if they are the skills are not available for in your local government by NYSC, go to the locals. People who do those things in the local community. Learn from them. Learn skills, so that 1 year won't just be a waste in its entirety. So it's definitely not a waste, even if you didn't do all of that. But you can even maximize the opportunity better. So if you do all of those things, so
thank you
advice.
Very much. So that's all we can take on the discuss segment for today. We'd like to appreciate our guest, Mr. Habiba Korede, for the beautiful insight he has provided onto today's program. And I'm sure probably a lot of us would have got better understanding of what the NYSC is, the reasons for its establishment, and the function it is meant to serve for the nation. It's not necessarily an employment seeking opportunity scheme, but then actually for us to really contribute our quota to national development. So right now I'll take the words on the marble as we close on the program. So you're welcome to the Words on the Marble segment of Education Today. We'll take a look at memorable quotes that are educational and inspirational to everyone. Today we have a quote from Jim Henson. According to him, kids don't remember what you try to teach them. They remember what you are. Kids don't remember what you try to teach them. They remember what you are. That's our words on the marble for today. It is important for us all as elders, as teachers, as respectable people in the society to understand that our position in the lives of our younger ones, especially for those of us who are within the educational system, the lives of students. So teachers, we need to take care of that. Your composure and personality matters a lot in shaping the lives of your students. So as such, let us be careful of the impact and the influence we imbue in them, consciously or unconsciously. It is what you do that matters, not necessarily what you say. All right. So the question we asked earlier is that when exactly was the NYSC established and how old is it now? Well, do we have answers on social media or on the WhatsApp? All right, no. Okay, so the answer to that question is NYSC was established 22nd May 1973, and it is 50 years old today. As of now, it is 50 years. So this year, NYSC is 50. So that's the golden jubilee, anniversary for the NYSC. All right. So to all our listeners, this also informed you that you can advertise your products and services and also showcase your events on this program. This you can do by calling the number 0702 507 4268, 0702 507 4268. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let's know how you feel about today's program. You can reach out to us on Education Today via www.facebook.com/Education Today. You can also send an email to educationmediaservices@gmail.com. educationmediaservices@gmail.com. Many thanks to the entire crew of Education Today and the management of Lights Radio. Many thanks to T-Wise and Faye who have been in the control room, making it possible for you to be able to hear us. So as well, many thanks to Nima Ibrahim, who has been the supervising producer for today. Do join us same time next week on this station, Lights Radio. I remain OLUBUNMI KAZEEM. See you next week. Goodbye.